If you're having trouble sticking to your budget, you are not alone. In this video, we're going to talk about why it can be so difficult to stick to a spending plan, and I'm going to offer you a brain hack, a simple technique to make it a little bit easier. Let's do it. Hello, everybody. My name is Max. I'm an accredited financial counselor operating out of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Every money management system, every budget, every spending plan, inevitably all share one common element. They will all earmark a specific amount of money for day-to-day spending. I'm talking about money that we use to buy things like groceries, toothpaste, red wine, Nerf footballs, and did I say red wine already? If we're able to stick to this earmarked amount, our budget dictates that our commitments will be met and we'll have made progress towards our goals. If we overspend, then we hamper progress towards our goals. And if we really overspend, then that's how we end up building bad debt. So we know logically that we need to keep our spending to a specific amount. Why then is it so hard to do? When the math makes sense and the goals are reasonable, why do so many people have difficulty sticking to this self-imposed allowance? Well, a lot of it has to do with the way we are paid in large, lumpy sums. Large, lumpy sums. Oh, trademark. When we receive a big fat paycheck, we are susceptible to what scientists call the windfall mindset. In simple terms, getting paid in lumpy sums makes us feel rich. This often leads to overspending in the days immediately after we've been paid, and it means running short on funds on the days leading up to our next paycheck. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing if we have the self-awareness and the self-discipline to adjust our spending habits accordingly. But in practice, we're just as susceptible to temptation and impulsive spending at the end of our pay period as we were right after we got paid. So how can we break this cycle and counteract the windfall mindset? Enter Wendy De La Rosa and the Common Sense Lab. They discovered one solution to this problem when they were studying Americans who were receiving food stamp benefits. Here is what they discovered. By taking the benefit program participants' monthly income and reframing it for them as weekly income, they were able to increase the efficacy of the program by 20%. In real simple terms, it's easier for people to maintain a budget over shorter periods of time. Now, before we get any further into this video, I just want to take a moment to encourage you to subscribe to the channel. We release new content every week. Also, give this video a like. It's really important because it tells YouTube that other people might find this content valuable. It's a real easy way to support the channel. Also, I just want to say thank you very much to all the subscribers, and for all of you watching, I really appreciate it. Let's keep going. So how can we employ the same technique that the Common Sense Lab used on the benefit program participants? Well, it's pretty simple actually, but first, you're going to need to determine how much money you have for your day-to-day spending. That number is going to be different for everyone, and it's going to depend on numerous factors like income, expenses, what are your goals, how many wrestling streaming services you subscribe to. It's probably too many, right? Yeah. Settling on that number is what working with a financial counselor like me can help you do. So check out my website if that's something that you're interested in. Anyways, example. Let's say we've settled on $450 per paycheck and we get paid every 2 weeks. Now, let's get wild. We know the shorter the time span, the easier it is to rein in day-to-day spending. So we are going to employ a daily budget. 450 divided by 14 is 32.14. This is how much we have per day. On payday, you don't get your full paycheck to go wild with. You have 32.14. If you don't spend all your daily money, you'll carry over what you don't spend to the next day. And so, with a little diligence, we can actually grow our spending money over the course of the pay period, effectively flipping the windfall effect. Now, this requires a little bit of elbow grease. For starters, you're going to need to know the precise mechanism that you are going to use to do your spending over the course of that period. I recommend a prepaid credit card that you can load with an e-transfer. But a typical debit card connected to a checking account is totally fine. And honestly, if you can find a way to make cash convenient, that could also work. But do not use a regular credit card. I don't care how many travel miles, points, cashback rate, whatever, it's not worth it. If you are going to embark upon a daily budget, it means that you are overspending. Credit cards are way too easy to overspend with. Avoid them at all costs. Okay, you've got your amount of money and you know precisely how you're going to be spending throughout the period. Next, pick a time of day for you to make a transfer of your daily amount into your spending account. This should happen only once a day and at the same time every day, like clockwork. If you can make this transfer automatic, Now, daily budgeting can be overkill. It really doesn't give you any reasonable amount of wiggle room, although that's kind of the point. That being said, it might make more sense for you to use a 3-day budget or a weekly budget. Conversely, if you wanted to really experiment, you could try something like a 4-hour budget. I mean, if you really wanted to get a regular serotonin boost, you could give yourself a 10-minute budget. You'd probably spend so much time celebrating that you stuck to your budget that you wouldn't have any time to spend your money. Let's summarize today's video. Sticking to a budget is hard. It requires willpower. That willpower can be compromised in times of plenty by what scientists refer to as the windfall effect. We can counteract the windfall effects by shortening the time span that we're budgeting within. To employ a daily budget, avoid credit cards at all costs. Stick with a prepaid card that you can load quickly and easily, or a debit card. Then pay yourself your predetermined amount on a set schedule like clockwork. That's it for me. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate all of the support and the comments, the likes, the subs, all that good stuff. If you need one-on-one coaching, please check out my website, maxmitchellmoney.com. You can find my rates, and we can do like a little video conference sesh. Yeah, and that's it. I will see you guys next week. Spread the word. Peace.